I would say the first thing we're doing is we are lobbying. So every time the governor's up there, he says, here's 2 things I want from the federal government. 1, we need access to banking, and 2, take this from a Schedule 1 down to a Schedule 2, allow for laboratory-like environments for us to do this testing. I'm going to say the problem's even harder than what you said, because what we don't have is a trusted voice in marijuana research, and I mean that on both the pro and the con side. And so every time a study comes out, it is ripped to shreds by the other side. And I was talking to the public health department in Harvard, and they said, you know, some of this is resembling tobacco back in the 1960s. Every time a bad tobacco study would come out by somebody, there would be the tobacco lobbyists on the other side that would rip it apart. And they said eventually there were enough trees and that there was in a forest, and suddenly there was a communal understanding. But a lot of this there's been really bad research from the federal government on this one. It's been very biased research for a very long time, unlike tobacco, which was actually being done in a legitimate way. So I don't think the federal government is going to be a trusted voice in marijuana for decades. And so that's NIDA, that's DEA side research, but it's also just anything that has a federal grant to its name. On the medical benefits side, that obviously leads us in a place where we are dealing in a world of anecdotes rather than in a world with scientific backing for what we do. And I don't think there's a quick way around any of this failure. And I don't think this is exactly what she was referring to, but I don't think industry funding studies is going to get us very far. Again, I don't think that's a trusted voice that people are going to take and acknowledge. I think industry funding studies on how best to consume so you make sure you're not driving high and killing people, I do think that that's probably valuable research to do in connection with state government. But I just think we have a problem. I think it's a problem of our own doing, and I think it's a problem that's 50 years in the making, and it's going to take 50 years to figure it out.
So just ask. I mean, there has been research for looking at the medical benefits. There just hasn't been any research looking at the harms or the potency levels. We haven't been able to fund it with the tax revenues. We haven't had the tax revenue to do that in our state.
But it's a federal issue. It's not. I mean, I think.
No, but we are doing research in our state. I mean, are we not?
We did.
Doing it.
So we had a $9 million initial fund, but that was specifically for the medical purposes of marijuana. We are looking for further funds down the road for general public health impacts of marijuana. But we're going to be talking about $3-4 million a year, plus whatever we can get in from leveraging that money. This is going to cost hundreds of millions of dollars, and it's going to take, even if we do it from our side, for it to be scientifically peer-reviewed, rigorous, it's going to take some changes in the federal law to get there. It's just going to take a long time.